I wonder if she does the do thing to like everybody. Hey there, my punk bunnies. I'm Silvy, bringing you another Steins Gate reaction. I hope you're all doing well today. So, something I want to talk about before we start episode 8 is that I have revisited some of past episodes and noticed some things I didn't quite notice before. So first of all, I somehow didn't notice that Rentaro had been talking to John Teeter already. He started talking to him after the first timeline change, and then they exchanged email addresses so that they could communicate with one another. Second, John Teeter specifically mentioned he wanted to change the future, which, to be frank, doesn't go along with what I know of John Teeter. He didn't want to change the future, or rather, he knew he couldn't. Nothing he could do would affect his own timeline, and I know people asked him, well, then why are you telling us in the first place? And I believe he was just kind of being hopeful that maybe some things could change in the timeline he was currently in. Like, wishful thinking that some other timeline could change things. Of course, I suppose I could just be misremembering, so I guess don't quote me on that. Third, in the first episode before Kirisu gets killed, we hear a guy screaming. I can't be certain, but the one screaming almost sounds like Rentaro. We know she previously saw him, and it seemed he needed to tell her something important. So we know the future version of himself was there, and so I do suspect that was him screaming. And my theory on this thus far is that he is the one who caused the first timeline change to undo her death. And I suspect we are eventually going to see Rintaro go back to the past and experience this firsthand at some point in a later episode. Fourth, in the 6th episode, I noticed that dreamlike state Rintaro was in, the woman who was talking sounded a lot like Kirisu. I don't know what that necessarily means, but it might suggest something happens to her. And I think that's everything. But before we hop into it, if you want early or uncut reactions, check out my Patreon, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, everyone got your bunny ears on? Let's do this. Indeed it did.
それって例のロト6がどうとかってやつ？そうだ。で、どうしてあんただけが記憶を保っているのよ。タイターは言っていた。俺には力があると。それを確かめるためにも、もう一度世界線を移動させねばならないのだ。力？世界線を超えてなお記憶を持ち続ける力。マガン、リーディングしたいな。
Did he just come up with that? I'm amazed that he was just able to come up with something random like that. I wonder what they did this time.
送信履歴なし着信はおお D メールは5日前に届いてる成功ね過去変わったなぜそのことを覚えているああ5日前のダルに D メールを送りフェイリス杯でのカードの配置を知らせダルが優勝するはずがはあマユシちょっと聞きたいんだけど、この前のフェイリス杯で僕って、負けた瞬殺
interesting.
Thank you, じゃあ。
So the past didn't change here. Which, I mean, makes sense because they're still on the timeline where he did lose. Yeah.
わかりやすく過去が変わったと確認できるものでないとダメか。ほう？別に実験に賛成とかそういうことじゃなくて。で、どう思ってるの？ あんただけ記憶が継続していることについて。
言ったはずだ、マガン。リーディングシュタイナーの力だと。
Reading Steiner.
それを確かめるために
Such a weird
次
name.
はお前に D メールを送ってもらうぞ。
私は嫌。聞いたの？
ああ、だが奴の言うことが正しいのかどうかわからなくなってきた。
どの辺
ああ、なぜそんなにムキになる？
が？
お前さてはタイタオタだな。
違うって。あ、クリスチャン。
ん？
トゥってる。グッモーニー。
It'd be crazy if she's John Teeter. Like, I know I keep going on about, like, maybe she was John Teeter, but now I think it's possible that the soldier girl might be John Teeter, because I'm pretty sure John Teeter said he used to be a soldier. We'll see. All my theories could be all wrong.
シンプルな内容が望ましい。4日前に携帯の機種変更をしたけど変えない方が良かったって自分に伝えたい。
なるほど。過去が変われば桐生さんの携帯が変わる。一目瞭然ね。
では実験を開始する。
But again, none of you will remember. Only he will. Assuming that he ends up changing timelines again.
電話レンジカッコ仮起動。
Watermelon.
これは？
バイバイ。いい子ね。
Okay, here we go. Okay, so he did just change timelines.
またこの感覚ということは。
あ、そうだ。私のホテルに来ない？いいの？もちろん。じゃあ今度お邪魔するね。ルカ君、てってる。
I wonder if she does the do thing to like everybody.
ダメだよ、オカリン。ルカ君は今日はマユシーのお客さんなんだよ。マユシーのコスを着てくれるんだね。僕。さあさあ、ルカ君、変身しよう。変身。だから僕。ほら、服を脱ぎ脱ぎして。そんなところ触らないで。わかった。僕一人で着るから。だからあっちに。これ着るのにコツがいるからね。お願いだから脱がさないで。
すごくユリです。違うな。
Yeah, I was gonna say, except
という
not quite. Close.
ライネットのキラリちゃんだよ。思った通り可愛いよ、ルカ君。こんな格好恥ずかしい。似合ってる？へえ、とってもキュートね。キュートだなんて、そんな。他の衣装も着てみよう。待って。今日ここに来たのは京馬さんたちにお願いがあったからなんです。コスを着に来てくれたんじゃなかった？
Clearly not.
違うって言ってるのに話を聞いてくれないんだもん。あ、ごめんね、嬉しくてつい。
で頼みというのは？
実は、
うん、
僕も過去にメールを送らせてほしいんです。
I wonder what the message she wants to send.
してしまったお詫びをしようと思って。
How
自分の容姿があんまり好きじゃない。
do you plan to do that with a Gmail, though?
少しは自信が出るかなって昔からそう思ってたんです。
Maybe to go through transition or something?
ちょっと待って。
I mean, you could still do that now, couldn't you?
何を言っているの？
助手よ、どうやらお前は決定的な間違いを犯しているようだ。
間違い？
ルカ子は女ではない。男だ。
何の冗談だ。それは
浅はかだな。お前も科学者なら自分の目でしっかり確かめてみろ。
I mean, in terms of transition,
可愛い子が
like,
男の子のはず。
you're already there pretty much. Is really checking the chest the only way you could determine? Like, I don't know if that would be
本気で女の子になりたいんです。
an accurate way to determine something.
しかし、D メールを送ったところで性別を変えることなどできるかどうか。
聞いたことがあるんです。赤ちゃんがお腹にいる間にお肉をいっぱい食べると男の子が、野菜をいっぱい食べると女の子が生まれるって。
Is that really how that works?
お母さんに野菜をいっぱい食べてねって
And how,
送るって
like,
こと？はい。
and how do you know if you'll even be the same person? What if you're not the same person, you know? What if you're just not born?
ございます。よかったね、ルカ君。はい。
性別を変えるなんてさすがにまずいんじゃね？
野菜を食ったぐらいでそんなことがあり得ると思うか。
そうね。
Like, I would assume it would just be a different person, not
悩んでい
Ruka.
ることだろう。それで気が
This would definitely not be an experiment I would ever want to do.
今日からお前は我がラボの一員、ラボメンナンバー006だ。
はい。
さて、早速実験を。お前、今年17だったな。
はい。
つまり、1993年生まれ。
それがどうかしたの？
携帯電話が日本に普及し始めたのはいつ頃だ？
True.
1996年頃っぽい。
により下火となる。ポケベル？これが初めて。
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I get the feeling this isn't gonna change anything.
さか？
そこに書いてある。
Because I highly doubt that what you eat is gonna change
006
the sex of the baby that you have.
ファーストミッションだ。母親がポケベルを持っていたか調べ、その番号を入手せよ。
はい。
Oh, yeah, and good luck trying to find the pager number.
これが番号です。
Really? Like, how on earth would they remember that?
たのだろうな。野菜食べると元気な子を埋める。
ひらがなで18文字しか送れないと聞いたので。ポケベルは数字しか送れないのよね。これを数字に変換して。
ちょい待ち。濁点は数字2個で表現しないとダメっぽい。送れるのは半角で36文字まで。その文章だと4文字オーバー。
ふむでは、これを数字に変換すると、いいか、起動するぞ。
はい。
本当に大丈夫かな？
心配するな。
Yeah, not to mention, it's not like it's gonna change for them, right? It's gonna change timelines. What's going on here?
リーディングシュタイナーが発動した。ということは、
I'm actually surprised that something's changed. Let's see what happened.
ルカちゃんにはこういうの絶対似合うと思うな。そうかな。
これは。
こら変態。どこを見つめている？
いや、そうではなく。待てよ。ルカ子は女になれたかとは聞きづらい。しかし、これは失敗だな。
だからニヤニヤと一体どんな変態的行為を想像している？もうオカリン、まったくあんたたち変態コンビは油断も隙もないんだから。
変態じゃないよ。変態紳士だよ。
どうでもいい。ほんとどうでもいい。
だが、確かに世界線は移動した。何かが変わったのだ。一体
Yeah.
何が？
Like, if Ruka's sex didn't change, then something else must have changed. Otherwise, the timeline wouldn't have done that, you know, he wouldn't have switched timelines. Unless Ruka's sex did change, and he's just making assumptions. Guess we'll see in the next episode. Alright, time for the discussion. This episode was actually quite surprising to me, mainly with Ruka. It's not as if I don't understand where she is coming from, but I just don't think that was a good idea. Surely if you could affect whether or not a boy or a girl is born in a past pregnancy, there is no guarantee it's going to be the same person but just a different sex. Not to mention we're talking about an alteration that could be so vast as to entirely change that person's life. Just being a different sex can alter who you ended up with as friends. It could alter how you have interacted with people throughout your entire life. Though maybe being born a girl feels like it weighs more heavily than all of that. But also this would only affect the new timeline anyway. It's not like the Ruka in the previous timeline just all of a sudden changes sex. From the perspective of everyone in that old timeline, it would be like nothing happened. And even though I say all of this, here I am contemplating if I would make the same decision. Would the wishful thinking outweigh reason and logic? Maybe if it was back when I was younger. With all that said, I'm now very curious what changed if it wasn't Ruka's sex. In fact, I would be terrified right now if I were Rentara. There's nothing scarier than not knowing what changed. Anyway, if you enjoyed the reaction, please like the video and subscribe to stay updated with new content. For early access and full uncut reactions, check out my Patreon. Your support means so much and helps keep these videos coming. Links are in the description. Thank you for watching, stay fuzzy, stay fierce, and I'll see you in the next video.